Good afternoon, everyone. So every Friday, you're going to hear from me live, and we will go over any big questions that came up in the group that I feel deserve a video response. This Friday is also one of my most favorite talks and lessons of all time. And if you are a second or third rounder, you know this talk, and it's called Running from the Bear. I'm going to say running from the bear for the end, so I can take care of just a little bit of housekeeping and really great questions that have already been brought up. So first off, y'all have done a great job this week. Engagement is fantastic, and I gotta thank my beautiful cousin Amber for posting this morning, like being honest with how she's feeling, because I know that a lot of you guys feel that way. You thought you were gonna have like all week to like really get it going, and life happened, right? And that's what's going to happen. So don't worry about it. If you're feeling behind, if you're feeling like you still have a lot of stuff to do, if you feel like you don't know what's going on, that's okay, because we have over 6 weeks left together. Remember, anything that you might have missed throughout the week, you're going to see on Sunday in our weekly recap. So if you happen to miss a video, if you happen to miss an important post from me, that will all be given to you in a nice summary that you can easily click on and read or watch, whatever it is that you need to do. So we've been doing this long enough. I know exactly what you need. And I know that weekly recap was a huge benefit and addition to the program. Now, the other thing I want to say is, remember, you can do this. I need you to know without a doubt that you can do this. There is no doubt in my mind that you can be successful. I need you to have that same level of reassurance in yourself. There is no room for doubt in this process. Okay, you got to trust yourself. You got to trust us and trust the process. You can do what you have set out to do. Hundreds of other people have done it, and there is nothing special about them. You are just like them. We're going to give you the tools that you need. All you have to do is follow through and make your own systems and structures so that it can happen. The other thing that I want to talk about, a little bit of housekeeping before I go into the question that I want to cover, is just remember to keep all of the questions in our Facebook group, so that if I don't see it right away, Leanne or Alejandra or Lisa can see it, and if they can't answer it, they can give me a heads up, and I'll make sure that I get to it. If it happens to go like a day and you haven't heard from me or it was someone else, please tag us in that post so that we can make sure to give you an answer. The other thing, a couple people have said they need more willpower, they need more discipline. I can tell you right now, that's not what you need. Willpower is kind of like motivation. It's going to come and it's going to go, and we cannot rely on it. And that is why it's so important to make sure that your environment is set up for success for you. We want our environment to pull us in the right direction. We don't want to be fighting our environment. So if you've set your alarm for 5 o'clock in the morning and you're supposed to go work out, but you can't find your running shoes, you can't find your leggings that you want, you can't find your sports bra, you don't know what workout you're supposed to do, right? Your environment is not set up for success. If you know that you got to work out in the morning, you need your clothes laid out, you need to know what workout you're doing so you can roll out of bed, brush your teeth, grab some water, eat your protein bar on the way or whatever you do, and get to the gym or get down in the basement and get to work. So your environment should be pulling you in the right direction. Your environment should not be pushing against you. So it's not about willpower. We'll talk about this later on, but it's not about more willpower, and it's not about more discipline. It's simply about more systems being set up to support you. The other thing, excuse me, small steps, okay? We have thrown a lot of information at you, and you may be feeling, especially with the new year, I'm gonna do this, my goal is to do that, and all this business. I just wanna tell you, start small. I seriously want you to pick one thing. If you're tracking your macros, focus on hitting that protein number first. If you're not tracking your macros, focus on eating vegetables at lunch and dinner. Start small. Small changes add up to significant change in the long run, okay? So don't overwhelm yourself. It's very easy to be really gung-ho in the beginning of anything, but that excitement wears off. And if you have like a list of a million things, even 10 things, if you have a list of 10 things that you're trying to do each day, and one day you only hit 5 of those things, you might feel defeated. And this will play into our talk. So if you could pick one thing that you know you can do, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I actually drank a gallon of water today. And then you're gonna do it again, and you're gonna do it again, and that's become a habit. And then you can tackle strength training 3 times a week, or getting to bed at 9 o'clock, whatever it is. So remember, start small, because we're gonna stack those habits in order to really set you up for success. The other thing, okay, let's talk just a skosh about macros. As you guys are getting used to logging your food, entering your food, seeing how your day is landing out. Of course, you know, a lot of people feel like they're eating more right off the bat. But let me tell you what happens. This is so wonderful. A lot of times what we're doing is we're eating low throughout the week. And that's why we have a problem on the weekends. And we'll talk more about weekend strategy in that next week. But because it's the weekend, you start to feel like, I've been so good this week. I think I'm gonna eat these chips and salsa because I deserve it. Or you can finally relax, and so you feel less pressure of the week. And so the way you relax is to have a couple margaritas with your chips and salsa. Anyway, no judgment. I'm just saying what happens. What you'll find is, if you're fueling yourself better throughout the week, you're less likely to fall off your plan on the weekend. When you're eating more, and it's not so much that you're necessarily eating more, I bet your weekly average is the same. But when you're eating more, throughout the week, you don't feel those same urges to like overdo it on the weekends. So it's really gonna behoove you to hit those numbers throughout the week, and you'll see a positive benefit. Because the other thing that we want to do, you guys, we want to be consistent. We want to be able to consistently hit our numbers. And so if I give you something that's too low, you'd be like, oh yeah, this sounds about right. I definitely feel like I'm on a diet now. I feel like I'm not eating very much. It's hard to stick with that. So the most important thing is consistency, right? You need to be consistent. It's really hard to be consistent with numbers that are impossible to hit, right? So you'll find this is a nice shift in thinking and your approach in fat loss, if that is your goal. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see. And it happens every single time. And like I mentioned with Michelle, totally normal in the beginning to feel that way. And then by week 3, you adjust. You're like, holy crap, I'm hungry today. I haven't been hungry in a couple weeks. And for females, you guys, I should make a separate post about this. Please start to pay attention to your cycle. Try and really figure out, when am I ovulating? When am I in my follicular phase? When am I menstruating? Things of that nature. But as a female, our bodies have these fluctuations, and I want you to start to tune into that, so that on week whatever, when you're really hungry, you might notice that is the week right before your period. And so that makes total sense. Oh, okay, I need more food this week. Or during your ovulation phase, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so strong this week. Yeah, you do. All systems are firing. Hormone levels are at a really great level right now. So that does play into our journey. Okay, so please start to really pay attention to your cycle. And that's the things that I wanted to address. Intermittent fasting got brought up 2 times. I'm so glad that it did. So this program, I don't coach intermittent fasting. I'm not an intermittent fasting hater. If intermittent fasting works with your schedule, if your mornings are really hectic and it works better for you to not eat until noon or whenever you break your break your fast is, then go for it. If you already intermittent fast and you like it, you still need to hit your macronutrient numbers. So these two strategies go hand in hand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't even worry about it. But for fat loss, there's no additional benefit, okay? In order to lose fat, you need to be in a caloric deficit. So eating less than you are putting out. Calories in versus calories out. If you shorten your feeding window from 12 hours to 10 hours or from 12 hours to 8 hours, that's less time to eat. So it might be easier for you to put yourself in a caloric deficit. So for fat loss, it might be easier to eat less. But it's not like a magic bullet. It's not a magic pill or anything like that. Are there other health benefits? There are other health benefits in terms of like giving your digestive system rest and things of that nature. But also we do fast. Most of us do fast for about 10 to 12 hours anyway, because we sleep, from 7 to 9 hours, get up, get ready. So we're not that far off from a 12-hour fast, even if we're not quote unquote intermittent fasting. Okay. So if you're doing it and it's working for you and you like it, continue to do it, but still hit your numbers. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It is getting a lot of press right now. So just don't let the messages confuse you and you feel like you need to do intermittent fasting or that it's the only way. It's out there right now. My business coach, she has a huge program that does teach intermittent fasting. So, again, I'm not a hater at all. It's just another strategy that we can have in our tool bag. Now, with that being said, let's move into today's talk. My absolute most favorite talk of all time. You guys, listen again, write it down, because this is a game changer. This is a perspective shifter. So this is called running from the bear, and I want you to stop being perfect and instead be good enough. So I want you to imagine that all of us, this big group of amazing people, we're at a picnic. We're at a picnic in the woods, right? And all of a sudden, like, these bears start to chase us because they smell our food, our healthy food. And we're like, oh shit, there's bears. Well, in order to escape these bears, we don't have to be the fastest person. All we have to do is be faster than the slowest person. And I want you to think about that. When you're improving your habits and your choices, you don't have to be perfect or be the best person or be the fastest person. You just have to be a little bit better consistently, right? So be a little bit better consistently. I want you to think about this scenario called the 0% game. You guys know parents who focus only on how much less than 100% their kids got. Maybe you had some parents like that, right? So a child brings home a B and the parent's like, well, what happened to the other 10% here? Why'd you get a B? Why didn't you get an A? Right? As in, if you didn't get a 90% on your math test, or as in if you get a 90% on the math test, what happened to the other 10%? So people are starting from that 100%, i.e. perfect, and then they're working backwards, only focusing on how less than 100% somebody is. But what if you flipped that? And what if you started from 0 and then added? So let's imagine here, what does 0% fitness look like? Like being bedridden, in a full body cast, not able to move at all, having to be supported by a ventilator to breathe. What's 0% nutrition? Eating stuff that's like not even food, like rocks and leaves and dirt. What is 0% health? Like death. The opposite of health is death. So how can we apply this to what we're doing here? I want you to think, how much better than 0% are you already doing in all of these areas? So if 0% fitness is being bedridden in a body cast, having to get help to breathe, what is your current fitness level? Everybody's breathing on their own. Everybody's up and walking around. A lot of you guys are already working out. So it sounds to me like you're at least at a 50%. How can you take it up to 51%? If 0% exercise is lying in bed totally immobilized, how much better are your exercise habits already? If 0% nutrition is eating stuff that's not even food, how much better are your nutrition habits? Well, gosh, I am eating some meat and I do eat a vegetable every now and then. Again, you're at least at 50%. So do you see how much better things look when you start adding from 0 rather than subtracting from 100? And like to Amber's post this morning, you guys don't play the should game on yourself. Like, I feel like I should have already done this. I feel like I should also have done that. Stop. That is a game we cannot win. There's always going to be more to do, right? Those of you that own your own business, you know there's always more work to be done. Same goes for our health, our fitness, our nutrition. We can always do something more. We're going to drive ourselves crazy if that's what we focus on. So keep focusing on how much better than 0% are you really doing? And then think about what would make you just 1% better tomorrow. And if that seems like too big of a jump, let's make it 0.5%, right? That's all we have to do. We just have to get going in that right direction. And then time is going to be our best friend as we slowly make these tiny changes that stick. This is where it's at, you guys. So what would move you forward just a little bit today? Like, it's Friday. What do you normally do on Friday? What would make you just a little bit better and move you just a little bit farther forward? So progress, not perfection. You guys, there is no such thing as perfection. There literally is no such thing as perfection. Perfection is a tool that we use to procrastinate. It's only holding you back. So let go of all of that stuff. I attract a certain kind of person. We're awesome. We are very awesome people, but we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. I am telling you right now to take that pressure off yourself to be perfect. So consider two options here. You could make yourself crazy for an entire week chasing 100% performance and then burning out and giving up because, hello, you can't do that. Or option 2, trying to be just 1% better every single day for the entire time of our program and hopefully for longer than that as well. So do the math here. 7 days times 100% effort at 358 days times 0 effort. So only 7 days doing what we're supposed to do and the rest of the year stopping because we figured out we failed because we can't do it perfect. That equals 0 change. No change, no backsliding. You end up feeling like a failure. Versus 365 days of 1% better every day. That, my friends, equals significant transformation. You end up feeling like a superstar. So I'm not saying this is going to be a quick process, and I'm also not saying it's going to be easy, but we can make it easier on ourselves by focusing on the little improvements every single day, knowing that the little things turn into the big things. Focus on making a little progress each day rather than being perfect. Start from 0 and add and notice your small accomplishments. You guys, every single Friday after this week, we are going to say what our wins for the week are. You're not going to tell me what you wish you would have done. You're going to tell me all that you did do, all that you are proud of. Allow yourself to be good enough for now and take the pressure off. Be patient. This is why most people fail, because they aren't patient enough to allow the small changes to turn into the big changes. So you quit. Don't be that person anymore, okay? You may not see it in 6 weeks, but you will see it in 6 months. Keep showing up. We've only had a week together, so keep showing up, keep trying, and let that bear catch somebody else. So today, don't wait for the perfect day. You guys have already signed up. You did not wait for Jan 1. We signed up 2 days before the beginning of the new year. Don't wait for the perfect day. Don't wait for the perfect body or the perfect schedule or the perfect whatever. time to come, because it's not going to. You got to work with what you got. Do something now. Stick with it this weekend. We're not talking about weekend strategy right now because I want to see how the weekend goes and everything. But just keep staying on track and know that you're already doing 1% better because you are here. So our mantra is start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. All right, you guys. So I'll type a couple notes up in the description of this video. You can fill out your journal, your owner's manual. If you have questions on this, please let me know. If you're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed to hear, let me know. You guys, this is one of the most powerful paradigm shifts out there. It applies to our nutrition, it applies to habit formation, it applies to working out. So utilize it as needed. Have a wonderful afternoon, and we will talk to you. I think I have one more post today about why not to enter the exercise in MyFitnessPal with some really cool graphics. Leanne is going to post what she eats today to hit her macros. And then, of course, we'll be online first thing in the morning. So have an awesome Friday afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.